This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of the Star Wars New Jedi Order novel Balanced Point. And this is, I believe, novel number 6 in the New Jedi Order series and Yuuzhan Vong War. And honestly, this one, it was a real kind of mixed bag for me. I think the beginning half is the weakest part of it, of the entire series so far at least. But I feel like the ending was a really strong conclusion to it. It's really weird, but I got through this one pretty quickly because I read it mainly on a pretty long car ride and at an appointment, so I had a lot of time to read where I got through like the first third of the book, which was probably it at its weakest, but it started to pick up in the back half and ended really strong. And this goes through a few different storylines where you get to see some pretty interesting and both unique and some dark moments where you see Jason Solo still really traumatized after everything that happened with Centerpoint Station in the previous novel, going and destroying most of the Hapen fleet, a good amount of Fondor, and a good amount of the Vong forces also. Just being really devastated by that and really trying to figure out how much the Force should be used. And for most of the novel, he's using it very little or not at all. And there's also a focus, although less on her, of Jaina trying to just more help out with her suffering a pretty serious injury that left her temporarily blind at the beginning of the book. And she's spending most of the novel recovering from this injury and is more of in a supporting role, but still does have a impact on the plot. But this one just focuses also on a lot of characters with Luke, Han, Mara, Jason, Jaina, Anakin, Han, and Leia. Don't know if I said anyone twice there because that was a really long list of names, as it's just off the top of my head. But they're all main characters in this, and they're all doing, their own things, but are generally grouped together with, for most of it, Han, Jason, and Jaina are together until they reunite with Leia, who they didn't know was there. And then there is Luke and Mara who come with Anakin. And of course, this is Anakin Solo and Anakin Skywalker, since obviously Anakin Skywalker has been dead for around, I think, 20 years at this point. But it is pretty interesting to see this and the Vong going to capture something that's, I don't remember if Duro is in the core worlds or just outside of it. Either way, they capture something that brings them really close to the core and makes things pretty deadly. And this one gets them one step closer to their eventual conquest of Coruscant. And it is just really interesting to see everything here where things get to some pretty dark points in here with Leia being taken prisoner, nearly being left for dead and nearly paralyzed. Although from later points of the timeline, I do know that she is not paralyzed and does not lose her legs. At least, but based on what I read, I could have, missed something, but it doesn't seem like that. And with me reading through the entire, well, listening to the entire Fate of the Jedi series, I think would have mentioned there if she did lose them. And there is just, a lot of stuff that goes on in this. That's one of the problems is it just, I feel, tries to juggle too many characters, trying to make them all main characters. And although it doesn't do it as that bad, and it's generally pretty good, I just feel like the first half was, the half to a third was pretty weak. But once it starts to pick up with the action and the people of Duro, the Duro's going to betray the New Republic and the refugees in their world, trying to use them as bargaining chips to get the Vong to leave them alone. Obviously, will backfire and does backfire on them, with the world being taken and an evacuation of the world does not go well, like most things in the early days of this war. But yeah, honestly, it's really interesting to see things get to some pretty far extremes. And as I said, Leia gets really messed up in this, and is, at least I don't know, injured for how long because I haven't started the next book yet. I only finished the last one a few hours ago. So I decided to review it while it was still fresh in my mind, but I think this is all really good. But the best part of this is the ending where the Vong go and make a declaration to the galaxy that they will leave the rest of them alone if they turn over any and all Jedi, no matter how far they are into their training. And obviously, this is going to be a big part of the plot going forward. And I do want to see where they continue because it is pretty interesting to see and really is just insane how crazy this story is. I've really been enjoying it so far. And I'm looking forward to the next novel, which I should have a review of pretty quickly since it's supposed to be a short ebook. So I just have to get through that. It'll probably take me like a couple of days. I'll probably have it finished by Friday, if not maybe Saturday or Sunday, but I think it's only like 8 chapters, so it shouldn't take me that long. Just, it's just gonna be annoying to read it as a ebook since I really don't like reading ebooks. A few days because I probably would have had it finished right now because I'm recording this like a week in advance because I want to finish this week's videos pretty early so I could start on next week's videos because I won't be able to record any videos next week. I'll explain that in my weekly update. But going into just really everything else with this, there's nothing more to say. I think it's a good book, probably the weakest of all of them, especially because of the start. And I think that it does set up things to be interesting going on. As I said, the back half is really good. Just the first like third to half that I think just was kind of not too interesting. But I do want to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.